What's up, maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today, we are talking about Smackdown. We had a pretty decent show from Smackdown this week, with the stories getting towards Clash of Champions evolving more and more. Some interesting storylines, particularly one involving the Money in the Bank contract situation. So if you want to hear everything that's gone down in today's show, stay tuned. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you click the subscribe button and make sure you click the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. Right at the top of the show, we had the dirt sheet, Miz and Morrison in the ring doing what they do best, gossip. And as they were going into all the stories that they were going to talk about, they spoke about the whole transfer of Mandy Rose now as part of the Raw roster, and that now it can free up Otis's time. He can focus on cashing in the Money in the Bank contract. Otis didn't seem to take too lightly to this, and Otis came out. Otis laid waste completely to John Morrison and Miz. Tucker helped a bit when I think Miz was trying to escape, but got Miz back in the ring. He gave him the Caterpillar, he gave him the Vader Bomb, and then the segment more or less ended there. I literally blinked in this segment and all of a sudden Miz was naked. I don't even know when his clothes got pulled off him, but hey, Miz was in his little pants. However, backstage, Kayla Braxton was going to conduct an interview with Miz when all of a sudden Miz had a phone call. And the phone call was a bit mysterious in the nature, even the way Miz answered the phone call and stuff like that. And it works out this whole thing was a setup. Later on in the show, we had a cut to Otis backstage with Tucker, and somebody came and served Otis papers. He has been served, he's been asked to go to court, basically because he assaulted hosts of a news show, The Dirt Sheet, and they are saying that how he has handled the Money in the Bank contract has been negligent. So Otis has a dilemma which he will solve on next week's Smackdown. He either turns in the Money in the Bank contract, and when I say turn in, I mean surrenders it, or he goes to court. We've been hearing for some time now that maybe they are going to take the Money in the Bank contract off Otis. He's not going to cash in on Roman, we know that for sure. And I think he was really hot at the time when they gave it to him, but since then things have changed, it's cooled down. Maybe they just have other plans for the Money in the Bank contracts right now. But next week is going to be very interesting to see the future of that anyway. The show started with one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champion Cesaro taking on Gran Metalik. We're constantly seeing this battle now between Lince Dorado and Kalisto, kind of vying for who's in charge or who knows best in regards to the Lucha House Party. Kalisto's really kicking up a storm since he has returned to the show, and Gran Metalik is just, poor him, he's just stuck in the middle of these two having like their ego trips. This was a really decent match, as we knew it would probably be. Great competitors involved in this one. The main story was that, again, like I say, Lince Dorado and Kalisto were fighting on the outside, verbal sparring, let's call it, kind of shouting instructions at Gran Metalik, wanting both of their points to get put across. In the end, it was working to Gran Metalik's detriment, where he kind of didn't know who to follow or who to listen to. And as a result of all the noise and palaver they were causing, Kalisto and Lince Dorado actually got moved away from ringside and sent to the back. So at least that was kind of resolved. In the end, Cesaro got the win with the neutralizer, put away Gran Metalik, but we are going to get at Clash of Champions Lucha House Party versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I did see something quite interesting on Instagram this week, a picture of Lince Dorado taking off his mask. We didn't see his face in the picture, but he took off his mask and the caption read something along the lines of like he's done with this now, or that he's kind of giving up the mask. So maybe that's going to play into the storyline, we shall see. But yeah, on the night, Cesaro got the win over Gran Metalik. Next up on the show, we got a moment of Bliss, Alexa Bliss's talk show, where she was basically asking Nikki Cross, who was her guest, what's going to be different this time when you go against Bayley. And Nikki Cross, to her credit, said, to be honest, yes, I've consistently lost to Bayley in recent months, but Sasha Banks always got involved, and now that they're not friends anymore, that shouldn't be a problem. Which for me, logic-wise, good answer. I still think that Naomi should have been in the conversation as #1 contender, as the last person to beat Bayley, but Nikki Cross I'm a fan of, and that was a good answer, so we move. Lacey Evans then came out blaming Alexa Bliss for having her little moment last week and leaving the match, that he threw off her tactics, and that's why Nikki Cross won. Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans then went on to have a match, and we saw something really different in this match. Lacey Evans pulled out hand sanitizer, rubbing it in the eyes of Nikki Cross. Now, surely that is a disqualification. I don't know why the match continued past that point, but yeah, something a bit crazy. I think it's quite fitting, as Lacey Evans calls everyone nasties, that she pulled out hand sanitizer, which was pretty good. Didn't help her in the end though. Nikki Cross still got the win, and she's building up nicely towards Clash of Champions. I did fail to mention that Alexa Bliss was on commentary for this match, and after the match she was kind of mocking Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans was jaw-jacking with her also, and as soon as Lacey Evans mentioned The Fiend, Alexa Bliss went into this trance where she got up from the announce table, walked over to where Lacey Evans was, and gave her a Sister Abigail. So this is the second time Alexa Bliss has done this now on TV. She was still in the trance and literally just walked off. So I guess we're still waiting for the Alexa Bliss and The Fiend storyline to kind of become obvious in our faces, but she's definitely taking steps towards some type of transformation. This is the most I think we've ever seen. We saw, you know, Daniel Bryan turn heel and all of these other kind of characters be affected, but this is the most of like a complete transformation we have seen of any one of these superstars. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to kind of push forward this storyline of Alexa Bliss and The Fiend. Next up, we had Sasha Banks on the show, but before I tell you what she was involved in, guys, if you're enjoying this review, please hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. We thoroughly appreciate it right here at WrestleManiac UK, and it does loads for the channel. So I thoroughly appreciate it if you just hit the thumbs up button right there. After a week off the show, Sasha Banks was back this week, selling the injuries from Bayley's heinous attack. She was wearing a neck brace, and basically she said in an interview with Michael Cole that she was the only person around for Bayley. She was very supportive of Bayley, that she is the reason that Bayley is so successful in the WWE, that she always had her back, but she turned her back on Bayley, and she declared that I'm coming for the SmackDown Women's Champion. And it was very short-lived because Bayley came running in with a chair, knocked Sasha Banks over, took off the neck brace, but luckily before she could lay any more of an attack, kind of officials and stuff backstage got involved and pulled the two away. I guess we know that this match isn't going to be at Clash of Champions for the SmackDown Women's Championship, because that's going to be Nikki Cross versus Bayley, but I guess it kind of shows us that Bayley is going to retain. We already know that now at this stage because Sasha's kind of declared, I'm coming after your SmackDown Women's Championship. So it is probably going to be somewhere down the line. There will probably be some complexity before we get to that match, which I think is always good. For me, they kind of need to drag this match out to WrestleMania, or at least the blow off of the feud. Maybe, you know, they have the match at Royal Rumble or something like that, and then something happens, and then have the match again. I don't know, but the changing of the title probably needs to come as big as a WrestleMania for me. What do you guys think? Would love to hear your comments down below. Next up, we had AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn, and this was a pretty good match. You know, it's been a long time since we've seen Sami Zayn actually compete and compete properly. Like, even when he won the Intercontinental Championship around WrestleMania times, he wasn't really doing much. He was in like a triple threat match and got a cheeky pin and won. Like, we haven't seen Sami Zayn, because of injury, actually wrestle for quite a while if we think about it. And he looked really good. He looked really sharp. AJ Styles, his phenomenal best as always. And the finish was really amusing. Both men basically tried to cheat. That is the long and short. Both men tried to cheat to get the win. AJ Styles cheated better, as Corey Graves put it on commentary. So AJ Styles got the win here, but it was very short-lived in terms of celebrations. Jeff Hardy came out, he laid attack to AJ Styles, he laid attack to Sami Zayn, got on the mic and said, I've had enough of the accusations that I'm not the rightful Intercontinental Champion. If it's not me, who is it then? It can't be Sami Zayn. AJ Styles, I beat you. And he was really impassioned and saying that he is the Intercontinental Champion. And to put this all to rest, they are going to have a triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions. We somehow knew this was coming, but the announcement came all the sweeter. I did think maybe it was going to be a TLC match because, you know, Jeff Hardy brought out tables and a ladder when he was putting his attack on these guys, but it is just going to be a ladder match. I mean, I guess tables can be involved in a ladder match anyway. It's non-disqualification at that point. So yeah, ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship at Clash of Champions. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Looking forward to that match a lot. Last but not least, we had a Samoan street fight. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on King Corbin and Sheamus. Before the match started, Roman Reigns came out, and he came out first. As per the contract of this match, he was to come out first to ensure he was there when the match started. He came out and he just basically cut a promo saying, look, if you guys want me, if you want this, the Universal Championship, come and get me. This is my yard. This is my island. I'm here. Come after me. Drop the mic. It was that simple. Then Jey Uso came out, followed by King Corbin and Sheamus, and the match got started. And this was a very violent, vicious match. There was a lot of spots. Tables were broken, people getting speared through barriers, chairs were used, jumping from the barrier onto each other. Like, it was really a street fight. They did not play in terms of how hard they went. Again, I guess Roman cementing this new heel persona with a low blow to Sheamus on the announce table, and then I think he gave him a Samoan drop on the commentators table, but it didn't break, which was a bit of a shame. For the finish, Roman speared Sheamus, and then Jey Uso done a splash and got the pin. So Jey Uso actually picking up the win here for this team. And it was really interesting to see. I did think Jey Uso was going to get a bit of flack for getting the pin off of Roman's spear, but nothing happened, and these two kind of looked at each other for a long time in the ring before Roman pulled in Jey Uso for a hug, and they were really embracing for such a long time that I was thinking, oh, Jey, something's gonna happen here, bro. But nothing actually happened. You know, when Roman released him, they just kind of looked at each other, you know, spotted each other like we're bros. Jey Uso got out the ring and was basically calling Roman, come on Uso, let's go, let's go. Jey Uso had his back turned to Roman and continued to walk up the entranceway, and I even thought then Roman's gonna make a beeline for this guy behind him and just take him out. But I guess maybe we're still a bit early from that happening. Roman Reigns stood in the ring and gave Jey Uso the evil eyes, and Jey Uso obviously had no idea because he was walking up the entranceway. Roman Reigns was just really staring daggers into the back of Jey Uso's head, and that's how the show ended. Now, I'm still hoping that my prediction comes true of Jey Uso just turning and aligning with Roman at Clash of Champions. We don't get any way, shape or form a match for the Universal Championship. Is literally Jey Uso lies down and gets pinned, they get up and start celebrating. I'm still hoping we're gonna get that, but after those eyes, I think, like I say, Roman, what they're probably gonna do is Roman is going to eliminate Jey Uso at Clash of Champions. Really make him feel his wrath. Like, I think that is what is coming, and that is what we can expect. But I would like to build up some more heat. This is just a whole ruse. Jey Uso just lies down, takes a pin, they all get up and laugh about this and walk away. Either way, I can't wait to see what happens at Clash of Champions from this particular match. It's going to be a good one. So guys, that was my SmackDown review. Like I say, Money in the Bank, we're going to find out the future of that next week on the show. Sasha and Bayley, going to be very interesting to see how that develops, even though Nikki Cross is the #1 contender for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. And Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso will be about 1 week away from that match. Are we gonna get a hard split of the two next week? Is something serious gonna happen before Clash of Champions? I can't wait to see it. Guys, if you enjoyed this review, hit the thumbs up button, and if you're new here, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.